It's time for another episode of Empty and Emptier with MSNBC. Ratings crashing into the ground, but they are obsessed with Trump's polls. They should be obsessed with their own ratings. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Once again, if I haven't told you thank you yet for subscribing, thank you. We're about to cross 460,000 subscribers, a new YouTube record for me on all of my history on YouTube. So that, again, I just got to say, thank you. Let's watch painfully Joe Scarborough and poor Mika. We call them Screaming Joe or the Morning Slow or Snoring Joe. If you guys have another name for Morning Joe, let me know in the comments below. We might have to update our jokes.
Really tells the same story that we've been hearing over the past week or two, a tightening of the race. All four of the states within the margin of error. Donald Trump leads Georgia 51-45. That may be outside the margin of error.
He just said they're within the margin of error. That he goes, except for this one in Georgia, that one's maybe outside the margin of error. Yeah, get your facts straight.
Michigan 49-46. Again, those numbers in both of those states tightening up.
Tightening up, but not yet fully blending within the margin of error. But here's the key one. It's coming up, and it's Pennsylvania. My friends have said, watch Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to decide this election.
Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, dead heats, 48-48. So again, a tightening race.
This, I believe, is still part of the fallout for Trump, coming out soft on the pro-life issue, but I believe it will repair as the people who are neither Biden or Trump or both Biden or Trump, the middle, I would say 4% are going to decide this race.
We'd all be wise to essentially not really care that much about new polls unless they start to show a race that's outside the margin of error, because my sense of this race and is that all the data we have is that.
Now, hold on. Let's zoom in on the pillow. That's a Wu-Tang Clan pillow. You know, this guy is so street. Look, here's the Wu-Tang Clan. That's his favorite group. Okay, I almost believe you.
We are going to have a margin of error race in the battleground states.
Okay, how many more times can you say margin of error?
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Did he just say what I thought he said? Because this clip is going to go down in history for us.
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Wait, I got one last improvement on the pillow.
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Thank you, polling genius, for your contribution. The margin of error is the margin of error. Is the margin of error is the margin of error.
And I do think that anybody who was sitting here on a Friday and said, who had a better week in politically, Joe Biden in a battleground state a lot of the week in Pennsylvania, or Donald Trump in court? Well, you think I think we all know what the answer to that is.
Whatever he thinks the answer to that is, if he's not saying Trump did better in court than Biden did on the campaign trail, he's wrong. Scarborough essentially disagrees with you also. Watch him flub it here.
Oh, the courtroom politics have played in Donald Trump's favor.
Thank you. We'll take the win. Just end it there. Courtroom politics are in Trump's favor. It's not harming him the way they thought it would. And that's because that really is what this election's about. Like I said, it's not against Donald Trump against Joe Biden. It's Donald Trump against the state. And the courtroom is where you want to have that battle. And he comes out on the street and he shakes hands with people. He's doing great on the campaign trail. It would be better if he was in Pennsylvania, but I think Pennsylvania people are going to be sympathetic. And when Trump wraps up any of these court cases, watch him go straight to campaign in Pennsylvania. That's what I believe he'll do.
But it's those voters that go back and forth that are going to decide these states. They don't really get polled in a way that you can see it, because it's so expensive to do it. To find enough of them to make the polls reliable costs a lot of money. So none of these folks that are polling want to do that.
So she just now gave you the reason why the most important people that we need to hear from are not being polled. She just negated all of the work that MSNBC just did, because it's too expensive to poll the people who vote flip-flop between Biden or Trump. And I only got to say, it's going to be different this time than 2020 on what people think of Joe Biden. It's not equal ground anymore. He had a clear 4 years, and there's got to be less than 4% of the people that are impressed with him and will turn to Donald Trump. if they're awake and if they're alive, and I do believe they will make that change, because Biden has only underperformed for 4 years, and people are feeling like America is about to, and the world is about to fall into ruin.
You know, I'm also fascinated by men.
I like to keep that stuff personal.
I'm also fascinated by men who voted for Biden, but who are conservative, who are Republican. Are they going to stay with Biden this next go round, or are they going to go back?
They absolutely are not going to stay with Biden. Remember, he didn't campaign. They kept him in a cellar. He only looks worse, probably 10 times worse than he did on that campaign trail. That makes everyone feel a little uneasy. So this is about the middle 4%. Probably people who dislike both Trump and Biden. Does the lawsuit really harm Trump? In the polls, it really hasn't. It's helped him. So that 4% are not going to be as angry at Trump being in what is declared an unfair court case. The general public thinks that it's politicized. Remember, even many people on the Democrat side in the middle are coming out going, this is unfair, this is unfair. That's good for Trump. Those people who did vote for Biden, Republicans, are going to come back under Trump.
Have the last 4 years been palatable for them? And so I'm curious to see if Biden's going to be able to hold on to that crucial little sliver and win re-election.
Yeah, he can't hold on to it. They're all watching him slip. The fact that she wonders if Biden can hold on to it shows her lack of confidence, saying, we have a lot of reason, there's a lot of evidence that we feel like he's shaky in his boots on this, that he can't hold those voters, and that's going to put Trump in the White House. Only takes that middle 4%, guys. It's not that big of a poll because the rest of us are so entrenched already on both the left and the right. I'm Doug in exile.